shifting winter roses from fall to white, from giving up on all to a heart of gold and light. I felt like a casket grown over graves with vines, overgrown greenery over my machinery, as an apathetic robot lost to the pits of time. My mechanical parts breathe, as somebody lays the flowers on my grave in remembrance of the self my shadow sees in the seas of lost time and lost rhyme, and poetry once brighter, once a bit lighter when I'd pull all-nighters and write before 11:59 p.m. because I cared about them. My poems, my shadow, my meadow, my shadow cries tears over my grave, and apathy was the medicine to ensure my thoughts would never misbehave. I would watch myself in the casket, in the basket that I myself wove, in this grove of graves and broken machines. My shadow would be the one that deems acceptance for what to feel. But it grew more and more narrow until that dark figure ended up locking the seal. Until that figure, that soul, placed flowers on a grave marked as null, somehow being empty while full, she breathed love into my tomb, my gloom, my emptiness, and I couldn't do the least as to remember their name. I just remember the heartfelt shame of drowning and frowning about my hopeless life. I gave up and ran away from the strife. I wanted to end my life, but somehow my gears began to turn. My heart started to yearn. My machinery had air to breathe, and I went from metallic to skin and flesh, a real man of bone and emotions that meshed, a man who got lost within. I had this chance. I pushed the stone off my grave. I unburied my burial in dirt and dust flurried to lave. It would clean me of my forgotten vines that I snapped one by one, being wrapped in green thorns and being torn by the adorned decorations of my once mechanical heart. That's when I grew perfect. That's when I knew I could try, when I could cry. It was strength in the length of the strings that bound me to my feelings, as it's no shame in being a puppet as long as your heart holds the strings, not other things, else you'll be clipped of your shadow's wings, and you will fall and fall and fall and give up all. Try to stall your melancholy thoughts. Try to remember you aren't looking at yourself from outside. You never died. Your soul is still in your body. When you stand from your casket, look at your hands locked by chains and bands. They're still yours, opening doors, windows. Take your hands off the glass you observe yourself through. Yearn for something new to stimulate your mechanical mind with something to do. You're still you, not a machine, not a mechanical masterpiece. Your mind runs like a bot, overwhelmed with thought. When your systems overheat, when you feel beat, your flesh turns to metal from meat. We think like a machine with a shadow inside, a machine with a mechanical mind, a machine full of metal and wires and emotions of apathy and fires. Machines don't get mad, they don't feel, never sad enough to need to deal with the suffering, the buffering of our systems, of our loading screens. Just like a machine, we do everything perfect. We're awful at the things we aren't programmed for, but aside from that, we can do anything without a thought or more. We are a machine capable of everything we don't want to do, and if we let negative inputs infect our program, we can't be reset like we want ourselves to. Those are the thoughts we have as humans. So how are these thoughts of humans about how we feel like machines? How metal pierces our lungs and veins caught by the tongues? Us humans all feel so insane. But my tomb was opened, my vines were torn, my bones and muscles feel worn. Yet at least I'm no longer inoperable. Now I have to walk, step after step. I continue to talk. I say I'm happy, but how do I know? And if I'm not unhappy, then why do I keep looking for reasons that I'm so low, that I don't know, that I can't show myself the results of effort? Why do I have these thoughts? If my metal turned to flesh, if I'm so human, why do I feel unlike the rest? Why does my mind fill with static? A field where I search for the flower I can't find. Why does a machine feel like it died? Why did I just refer to myself as a machine? I know I'm not. My mind is caught in chains of confusion, of delusion, of misillusion from the life I live.